All right, good afternoon, sixth graders. How's everybody doing today? Good? Good morning, Maddie. Afternoon. Hey, Chase. Good morning, Ryan. Hey, Garrett.
Hey.
Hi, Caroline.
Hello.
Hi, Hannah. Hi, Lexi. Hi, Chelsea. Good morning, Zach. Hey, Shelby. Hi, Randy. Hey, Tori. Hey, Shane. I like your outfit, Shane. Hey, Katie. Hey, Scott. Hey, Duncan. Hey, Philip. All right, sixth graders. Today we're talking about nutrition. This is the second lesson in our three-part series on nutrition. So let's get started. For today's lesson, here's the objectives and the standard of learning and the health goal. You can't really see that, so I'll just read it off for you. Objective, the student will be able to identify what the daily recommended intake of nutrients is for each macronutrient and apply it to what kind of diet different athletes should have. SOL, it's not really important for you guys, honestly. And then health goal 33, I will eat the recommended daily amounts of food from my plate. So, lesson one review. Anyone remember what we talked about in lesson one? I'm a big fan of spaced repetition. Do you guys know what that is? Anyone know what spaced repetition is? It's when you review material at various intervals to memorize it better in your brain. So spaced repetition, really important. So just to go over what we talked about in lesson one a little bit, we defined nutrition. We defined it as the process of making healthy food choices. We talked about the 6 major nutrients, which are 6 major nutrients. Anyone? Caroline? Carbs, yeah. Garrett?
Protein.
Yep. Chelsea? Fats, yeah. Shelby?
Water.
Yep. Chase, did you have one?
They took it.
Vitamins, yeah. And minerals. Good job, everyone. Caloric surplus. We talked about that a lot. We talked about how it relates to obesity. Does anyone remember what a caloric surplus is? I don't think we use that phrasing, but yes, Ryan.
Eating more calories than we burn.
Exactly, yeah. So when your calorie intake is greater than your caloric expenditure, that's a caloric surplus, and it will lead to weight gain. And then we did those practical scenarios. You guys remember that? How to face different situations as they may come up in your life. All right, so we're going to talk about the 3 macronutrients today a little bit. So that's carbs, proteins, fats, just very briefly. So carbs are your primary energy source, so it's the first thing your body goes to when it needs to produce energy, when you come across any kind of athletic activity, when you're running long distances, that sort of thing, your body goes to carbs straight away. Carbs are broken down into 2 different categories, simple and complex. So simple carbs, those are like your more processed carbs, your white bread and stuff like that. Those are a lot easier to break down and easier for the body to use immediately, but they don't last as long, and that's where complex carbs come into play. Those are longer to break down, but in both have their uses and their advantages, so you just kind of have to know when to apply which one. And then another important part of carbs is fiber. So fiber helps satiate hunger and it helps move things through the digestive system, so make sure you're getting your fiber in. It just makes life better in general. All right, proteins, that's what bodybuilders care about. That's what weightlifters care about a lot of the time. Proteins is the body's main building block for growth, repair, and maintenance. There's, again, 2 different types, complete and incomplete. And then complete proteins have 20 essential amino acids, incomplete don't. So you need to get those from foods. Eating different kinds of foods gives you different amino acids. That just helps the body do what it needs to do, get big and strong. Protein, like we just said, is important for muscular hypertrophy, which is making your muscles bigger. A lot of times you'll see the number 0.8 grams per kilogram. In a lot of cases and instances, you could say maybe that's fine for the normal population, but for athletes, weightlifters, that sort of thing, a lot of times they'll need a lot more, like 1.5, 2, even higher than that, grams per kg of protein to support what they need in their sport. And then fats. Fats, it makes our food taste good. So that's one reason why we like to put it in our food, but it also helps us digest different vitamins and aids in that process. There's a couple different ways to break down fats, but one of the most important one is saturated versus unsaturated. Saturated is solid at room temperature, and unsaturated is liquid at room temperature. Typically, we want to go for those unsaturated fats rather than those saturated fats. And again, we talked about this last time, but fat's 9 calories per 1 gram, so you've got to be careful how many you take in. Because you don't want to eat too many calories leads to that caloric surplus. This is what the My Plate food diagram looks like. This breaks it down based off of food group, not based off of macronutrient. But as you can see, you've kind of got like half your plate's full of vegetables and fruits, and then the other half is grains and protein. And then half of those grains should be whole wheat grains. To break it down by macronutrient, this is what the USDA recommends. So this is kind of one of the most important slides in the presentation. This is your daily recommended intake right here. Carbs 45% to 65%, proteins 10% to 35%, and then fats 20% to 35%. So if you guys could remember those numbers, that's kind of how you want to structure your meals. All right, plate activity. So the way this is going to work is I have these wonderful paper plates for us today. And we're going to go through kind of like a day of eating and what a day of eating should look like for various different athletes based upon those recommended daily amounts. So we're going to break up into groups, and then each group is going to get 3 plates. And then we're going to kind of mark down with Sharpies what percentage of the plate should go to carbs, what percentage should go to proteins and fats. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys can be a group of 4 right here. And then you guys can be a group of 4 right here. And then just share the Sharpies because there's only 3. You guys can be a group of 3. You guys can be a group of 4. And then you guys can be a group of 2.
Thanks.
You're welcome. All right, guys. Yeah, you 4. All good?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so guys, it's breakfast time, all right? And you're hungry and you're ready to eat. And you're trying to look like this man right here. Who knows who this guy is? Yeah, this is the one and only Arnold, one of the best bodybuilders of all time. So imagine it's breakfast time, you're trying to craft your plate. How would you divide up those carbs, those proteins, those fats? So talk amongst your groups, try and figure it out. What percentages should you do for each one? All right, go. You're trying to look like him. What did you guys come up with? 50, 30, 20?
Yeah.
Nice.
Or 7% of the plate.
Nice.
Because yogurt's dairy.
I like your 4 categories for your 3 macronutrients.
It's a little bit of both.
First on the plate was some cheeseburger sliders, then some of the teriyaki chicken, and then some French fries. You know, just
All right,
just that.
everybody good? Everybody come up with something? We're getting there? All right, Shelby, Zach, what did you guys come up with?
We said 40% protein, 25% fats, and 35% carbs.
Sweet, and why did you guys pick those amounts for that one? Oh, let me just say one thing real quick. There may not be like one right answer because we're kind of just talking about percentages here, so as long as you guys can justify your decision, great. So yes.
We said like 35 or 25 to 35% protein, and since he's like pretty small,
Correct.
we put 40 just to like increase that, and then 35% for carbs because
Cool. Sweet. Shane, what did you guys have?
We got about 40% on carbs, 35% on protein, 25% fats.
And then why did you make those choices?
Just because protein, good amount, just because he's pretty yoked. He needs a lot of energy
Yeah.
to do what he does. Fats, I don't really know, honestly.
Sweet. So this is what my plate looks like. It looks pretty similar to what you guys have. I have 40% on protein, 45% on carbs, and then 15% on fats. I went low on the fats because since he's a bodybuilder, obviously you want to be at like a super low body fat percentage. That's body composition like Ryan was talking about earlier. And so the greater amount of fats you take in, the harder it is to control that caloric amount that you eat. And then obviously he needs protein because he's building so much muscle. He's in the gym 24/7. So yeah, that's the first one. All right, next one. Who knows who this guy is? Elite athlete, one of the best in the world. Marathon runner. Yes, correct. Anyone know? This is Eliud Kipchoge. Kipchoge. Anyone know what country he's from? Yes, correct. Anyone know what tribe he's from? No. He's from the Kalenjin tribe, or the Kalenjin tribe, fun fact. But it's lunchtime, and you want to look like Kipchoge. You want to be an athlete like him. So how would you structure your diet based on those 3 macronutrients? Go. You guys got it?
Yeah.
Quick and easy? Sweet.
Quick and easy, my brother.
I like your plate.
Thanks. Don't worry, we're putting in the.
All right, let's discuss real quick. Caroline, Hannah, Chelsea, Lexi, what did you guys have for your plate?
Carbs.
100% carbs.
We said 70% carbs, 20% protein, and 10% fat.
And why did you make that decision?
He runs for very long and very far, so he's going to burn a lot of carbs. It's your first main energy source.
Correct, yeah.
And he's also, needs some little protein for those little muscles.
Yeah.
There's still muscles there.
So my plate, since we're running out of time, my plate is 55% carbs, 25% fats, and 20% protein. The big thing here is you want to go heavy on the carbs because you're running so much and you need all that energy. We're going to skip the last one because we don't have time, but this was going to be our third one. This is Eddie Hall. He's won World's Strongest Man before. He's eaten 8,000 calories a day, that sort of thing. So just a crazy human being. Little bit of a biblical integration here. For physical training is of some value, but godliness has value for all things, holding promise for both the present life and the life to come. 1 Timothy 4:8. So nutrition, super important. Physical training, super important. But ultimately, we need to remember that godliness is the most important thing of all and focus on that. So thank you, guys. Oh, frick.
You weren't paying attention or 451 apparently.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Thanks. I forgot to hand out my handout.
That was random. I feel like he'll count that.
Oh, maybe he will. Here, I can take your guys' plates. Unless you want to keep them.
I do not.
Thanks, Zach.
Sausage.
Do you want to keep your plates or do you want me to toss them for you guys?
Awesome for us. Thank
Okay,
you so
of
much.
course.
Wow.
You guys want to keep these?
Of course.
Sweet.
Thanks, Drew.
No problem, Shane. Thank